And welcome back to Abyssinia Stadium, where today the 5-4 Appoquinimink Jaguars will face the 7-2 Salesianum football team. Although this game was delayed a day due to rain, the energy is still being brought here on this clear Saturday evening, as both teams look to close off their season strong. Today, I am joined with Nick Martin, as I am Ronan Landis. And Nick, what do you think is the key for Sally's to win this game, or on the other side for Appo to win this game?
Well, Ronan, we're looking for Sal's to score early here. We want to get some points on the board, hopefully go into a halftime, with the lead. We really want to dominate that run game and hopefully hold Appo on defense, get some big stops. And when needed, we can always use James Collins to kick a field goal. So, who do you think is going to have a big performance tonight on Sal's?
No, with this Appoquinimink dominating run game, I think, the entire D-line for Sally's has to have a big game. But especially their linebacking core with Trevor Way and LJ Smith. If they have big games, almost a guaranteed win. As we are off here at Abyssinia Stadium with James Collins kicking it out of the back of the end zone. And Appo will start on their own 25-yard line. So, Nick, as you said earlier, Sally's really needs to come out here and dominate with their defense.
Yes, that's right, Ronan. We're looking for an early stop against Appo offense. Hopefully, limit them to just a couple yards so we can get some good field position and hopefully put up the score pretty early.
As we will get our first look at this Appo offense tonight. Looks like Sally's is playing a little bit of a standard offense, 6 in the box. Looks like maybe a little bit of a cover 2, as we will start the game with Appo in the pistol. And a little bit of confusion off the start as Appo will go back to about their own 17-yard line for a 3-yard loss. Looked like they wanted to run a misdirection, but a little bit confusion between the running back and the quarterback there.
Yeah, that's a great start for the Sally's defense. Immediate tackle for loss, second down. Nate Ray coming in with the tackle.
Already a penalty flag out onto the field, and a false start against this Appo offense. Oh, excuse me, a delay of game. So that will push them back another 5 yards. So, Nick, really not a good start for this Appo team.
Yeah, starting looks like 2nd and 18. They're going to need a big play if they want to get a new set of downs.
As they will run the ball to the left. Number 24, Daniel McCormick. As they will take it out to about the 22-yard line. Gain of about 10 there.
It's looking to be a big third down for Appoquinimink High School. They're pretty far back in their own half, and Sal's gets a big stop here and get some pretty decent field position.
Yeah, and it looks like they might have to maybe come out and throw the ball here, but we will see, led by Gregory Nielsen, the freshman. But they will just turn around and hand the ball off. And it looks like they were short of the first down by about a yard, down to about the 29-yard line. Daniel McConomy couldn't quite get there, although he did try to reach there at the end, but was just a little bit short. But it looks like they're leaving the offense out on the field. And there was a penalty flag on the field. As it looks like there was holding against this Appo offensive line. So they will replay the down. 3rd and 18. And Nick, you almost think that it's a guarantee that they're throwing the ball here.
Oh yeah, they ran first 2 plays. Oh, big throw, looking for his receiver, but unfortunately a little bit overthrown. It's looking like it's going to be the 4th down. They're bringing out the punting team. Let's see good Sal's offense, first drive.
Yeah, Nick, that holding penalty really killed the momentum of the drive. You know, they really, you know, opened strong with their running game after the first play, of course, but with that holding penalty, you know, it's a really tough position to convert a 3rd and 18, as they will bring out their punting unit, hoping to kick it deep for Aiden Lucci. As you can see here, just a little bit of an overthrow, although he may have had a step on him.
Yeah, it looked like he had some good separation, but the ball just wasn't in the right spot, unfortunately, and they're going to have to punt it.
As the ball will be down to about the Appo 42, as we will see our first look at this Salesianum offense. You know, Nick, that Salesianum defense did a pretty good job of what you wanted them to do, with get that big offensive stop and give this offense good field position. So with the power running game that they have with Andrew Ransom, this is very favorable field position for them.
That's right, we got Ryan Storr. He can throw the ball, great QB, but we also got Andrew Ransom in the backfield. He's always on for a big run. You know, we're pretty good field position. We're looking for a good first drive for Sal's offense.
And Ransom, who had a big game last week, going over 100 yards, will get off of play action here as they check it down to Ballin. Ballin outside to about the 28-yard line. Gain of about 14 there.
Already Sal's coming out strong. Pass to Hunter Ballin.
Good play call there, as they're kind of, you know, going off of how well Andrew Ransom played last week and using that against Appo, as they were expecting a run play there, as Ballin was completely wide open in the flat. So they will come out with 3 wide receivers to Stower's left and 1 out right, with Ben Anton with 1-on-1 up at the top of your screen. But Ransom will get the ball, run into a clump of Appo defenders, and he will be dropped for a loss of 1 at the Appo 28-yard line. And that will bring up a 2nd and 11 for this Sal's offense. Playbook is wide open here. We've seen many times throughout the season how dynamic this offense could be. So really, Nick, any play here is, you know, could be called. A Ransom stretch out to the left side. Lucas Ryan, a short little bubble screen, really anything.
Yeah, we're looking to just get a little bit of yardage. We always have that extra down, 3rd down, run another play. Coming off the edge, oh, Ryan Storr sacked. The ball may have popped out.
Yeah, Appo send a little bit of a blitz there, but you know, I think Stower made looks like they're calling it a fumble. It looked like a little bit of a pitch forward to the offensive lineman, although he wasn't eligible, but they will call it a fumble, so that will move him back to the 37-yard line. So this drive that started off really well has took a little bit of a turn for this offense.
Yeah, looking back on the play, we see he's looking for a pass here, but coming off the edge, there's an Appo defender, and unfortunately, Storr gets taken down, and the ball seems to pop out, but Sal's gets it back.
Yeah, they jumped right back on it. So as it will be a 3rd and 20 from the 37-yard line, Ryan Stower in the gun. Ransom behind him.
Looks like they're electing to throw here. He's under pressure.
And will wisely just throw it away. So Nick, if they do take the field goal here, it'll be about a 52-yarder. But it looks like they will bring on the punt unit with Aiden Montgomery. And Nick, on 4th and 20, it's almost, you have to punt here. I mean, very unlikely chance of you picking up the 1st down, and if you miss a field goal here, you're giving Appo great field position around like the 43, 44-yard line.
Yeah, that's right. It's looking like a punt is the only option for the Sal's here. They came out with a really good play to Hunter Ballin. Unfortunately, they can't make it happen. They're going to have to punt it off.
as Montgomery will boot it. And it looks like it will take a Sally's bounce inside the Appo 10, down to about the 6.
That's a great punt.
Down by the linebacker, John Casale. As you know, the Sally's defense really did their job. The offense had a little bit of a sputter there at the end, but showed lots of promise at the beginning of that drive. So with this defense really showing promise defending this run game, I think, you know, the offense will come around, and Stower never goes 2 drives without playing well. So promising outlook for the future for the Sals.
That's right. Sal's already made a good stop at first drive for Appo. Let's see if they can make it again. It seems like Appo's run game was working pretty well with runs to McConomy, but we'll see if they elect to pass it here so close to their own end zone. And it looks like it is a run for some good yardage.
Jaden Glover on the carry. Nick, it looks like they're running a little bit of option. You know, their quarterback, Gregory Nielsen, can turn and hand the ball off to their elusive back, Daniel McConomy, but, you know, they still do have that option with Jaden Glover, the junior, as both of their running backs have looked very explosive up to this point.
And another handoff, just as you said. Get some pretty good yardage again, once again.
And it looks like Daniel McConomy will pick up the first down on that play, out to about the 18-yard line.
Appo's been relying on their run game as of now. Do you think they're going to be mixing in some passing plays? You got to think.
Well, Nick, I think, you know, the Sally's defense is going to start committing a little bit more to the run. I mean, they've only thrown the ball 1 time, so if they start packing the box, I'll be interested to see if Appo can produce an efficient passing game, but for now, they will stay in the gun.
16-yard line.
Nielsen takes the snap, looking for the bubble screen, but it's actually a delay to McConomy, and he will gain about 1 yard out to about the 29-yard line. Now we'll bring up a 2nd and 9, 2nd and 10.
Still pretty deep in their own side. Appo has got a lot of work to do if they want a touchdown.
Yeah, if I'm Sally's, I'm looking really protecting against the deep play, as that's where they've usually got burnt when teams have scored. Little short pass to number 1.
Wide open in the middle for some good yardage. Looking like another set of downs. That's 3 first downs on this one drive.
Yeah, there's a Absigbu getting out to about the 27-yard line. And as you said, that will be another first down. But Nick, as I was saying earlier, you know, usually when this Sally's defense lets up points, there's a big play on the drive. And so far there hasn't been one, but they definitely have to protect against it. But Nielsen will take the snap in the gun again and hand the ball off to McConomy.
McConomy shed the tackle, but is taken down.
Down to about the 31, 32-yard line for a gain of 4. McConomy having a good game so far.
That's right, Appo really using the run game to their advantage, mixing it up, going left, right, down the middle, mixing in a couple passing plays, but nothing too deep yet. We've yet to see any big pass plays except the first drive. It was a little overthrown, but you got to think they're really relying on this run game right now to steadily drive their way down the field.
Yeah, potentially a little bit worried about that Salesianum pass rush. I mean, all of their routes have been short developing, as they will get the ball and hand it off again to McConomy. And he will gain a couple to the 34, gain of about 3. But as I was saying, you know, a lot of their routes have been very short developing other than that first passing play on their 3rd down. But I think they're potentially scared of the Salesianum pass rush with all of the great players that they have on that defensive line. So with these run plays and short developing routes, it's almost been confirmed that they're worried about the pass rush, as it will be a 3rd and 1.
Big 3rd down, they elect to hand it off. Oh, and a big stuff.
In there, Andrew Semmel and Trevor Way getting the big tackle for loss.
That's a big play by the line to stuff that run on 3rd down. It's looking like they're sending out the punt team.
Yeah, really good job by this Salesianum defense standing up there, bending but not breaking. As we can see here, Semmel and Trevor Way really getting in the middle there and not allowing Appoquinimink to burst and take off. As out will come the punt unit, punting from about the 23-yard line.
Oh.
And it looks like he may have missed the ball there a little bit, but it will take a very favorable Appo bounce down to the Sally's 34-yard line, as we will see them for their second time today.
Saw Sally's come out with a little pass to Hunter Bound for some good yardage, but not much action besides that. Are we looking for a good run game here, or you think they're going to get some passes going?
You know, their play action game has been working pretty well, as they've had about 2 successful plays off of it. So, you know, if they can try to establish the run with Ransom and then potentially move to the play action, their offense could be incredibly effective. But we will see Appo really pack on the box here, putting about 7 people in the box. But Storr will continue to stay in the gun with Ransom behind him. And the ball will be handed off to Ransom as he cuts back up to the middle, about to the 38-yard line for a gain of about 4.
Andrew Ransom sees a little bit of a gap and cuts inside. He's able to get a couple extra yards for the Sally's offense. We're looking at a 2nd and 6 for the Sally's offense. Hopefully, we can get a new set of downs.
Yeah, it's a promising run out of Ransom there. Great blocking from the offensive line. As Storr will continue to stay in the gun. 2 wide receivers to his left and a tight end.
He likes to hand the ball off again to Ransom. Oh, Ransom's pushing with a lot of men on him, and he's able to squeeze out just a couple extra yards, and we're looking at 3rd down for Sally's. Only 2 or 3 yards to go. You think they should run it again, or are you looking for a little blooper to the outside?
Well, you know, Nick, he got, 4 yards there on each of his 2 carries, so the run game is looking effective, but it looks like Appo is trying to stop the run with everything they can, as they're running press man coverage with no help over the top. So I think you almost have to run it here with their big lineup that they have on the O-line right now, as they will with Ransom.
And Ransom looks like he stretches for the 1st down, but there's a flag on the play.
As the refs will converse. And we will see what it is here. Looks like a personal foul on the Salesianum offense. Yeah, it looks like one of the offensive linemen may have chop blocked below the waist there, so it will move him back 10 yards, or potentially even 15, to bring up a 3rd and 16.
Oh man, we need a big play out of the Sally's offense here.
Yeah, definitely looking to throw the ball here, but again, Appo stuff in the box, putting all of Sally's wide receivers in press coverage, as Lucas Ryan will get the jailbreak screen. But there will be a flag, and it looked like a little bit of a block in the back. But it looked like Ryan was down as Appo tried to jar the ball loose and bring it back. But
so far, we've seen a lot of run game on both sides. You think we're going to see any pass plays develop? I believe both sides have very good run core. Andrew Ransom on Sally's side, Appoquinimink on the Appo side.
But as we will see, it is a block in the back. And I think the Appo coach may decline it, and he will. So that will bring up a 4th and 14, and Salesianum will bring out their punt unit once again. As we approach the 2-minute mark in this first quarter.
Score 0-0. We're looking for a big punt out of Aiden Montgomery. Hopefully pin Appo back down, maybe they're 30.
And we know he's clearly capable of it, as he's averaging 40 yards per punt on the season, which is incredible for a high school kicker, as he will boot it away. A fair catch called at Appo's 21-yard line.
What a boot by Aiden Montgomery. Great kick. Puts Appo back, pinned almost at their end zone. Sally's defense is looking to get a stop here.
Yeah, it looked like there was a 47-yard punt there, so Montgomery went above and beyond his average. But this Appo offense will start again at their own 23-yard line. And Nick, they haven't had great field position all night starting off-wise, but this is probably the best they've had. So if they can capitalize on this, that could be big for their momentum in this game.
Yeah, we saw last time their offense had the ball. They used a steady run game. They got a couple of consecutive first downs. And, you know, you got to assume that they're going to go back to their run game because it's been working so well. And right as I say it, they hand the ball off.
Jaden Glover.
Number 11 hits the gap, and he's able to get a good yardage for his team. Looking at 5 yards, 2 and 5 for the Appo Jaguars.
Yeah, the run game has clearly been a very integral part of both of these teams' offenses, as we will see Appo line up in the gun again with Nielsen commanding.
A little bit of a motion, 2 receivers on the right side.
He would turn and hand the ball off again to McConomy. And he will be wrapped up by number 42, Trevor Way, the senior. Not going anywhere, down to the 29-yard line. Gain of nothing on that play, as that will bring up a 3rd and 5.
It's a big 3rd down. Sally's looking for a stop, put him in some, force them to punt, get some good field position. Appo looking to get a new set of downs, hopefully keep their drive going down the field. They elected to throw, but unfortunately, the ball bobbled.
Yeah, the out route was dropped by number 19, Dylan Griffith, the sophomore. Looked like it was open, but a little bit outside. And unfortunately for Appo, Griffith could not haul it in. As we will see another punt by this Appoquinimink team, their 3rd of the night. As Aiden Lucy, the captain, will go back to receive it.
Aiden Lucy back to field. Mason Reinhardt's punt.
We'll see if Reinhardt can try to pin Salesianum deep. As he will boot it away.
Pretty big punt.
As Lucy will field it at the 35-yard line and take off to about the 47. As we have 5 seconds left in this first quarter.
So far, Salesianum's been starting with some pretty decent, at least neutral field position, unlike Appoquinimink, but not much has happened on the Sal's offensive side.
Yeah, that was one of Reinhardt's better punts on the day, so the Salesianum offense will take the field for the last play of the game, or excuse me, the last play of the first quarter. And then both teams will have a chance to go regroup and adjust to how the other team is playing and potentially put some points up on the board. As Storr stays in the gun, Ransom behind him. Nick, I'm looking at a stretch run here.
Yeah, I was thinking the same thing myself, Ronan. Runs, oh, and he elects for the pass.
Looking for Ryan on the
open.
double move.
Oh, Lucas Ryan. The ball is in his hands, unfortunately. He can't quite haul it in for Salesianum. Great route, though.
He had Antoine Osborne right next to him. But we will swap fields here. Nick, what are your key takeaways from this first quarter?
Well, you know, we've seen a lot of the run game on both sides. Not much deep passing, a couple short plays, but it seems like both sides are focusing on their run game. I don't know if the defense on either side are going to be focusing mostly on the run game or if they're going to think of maybe a little trick play.
And we will see you. Excuse me, we will get right back into this game at the start of the second quarter, looming very near. But yeah, Nick, I agree. There's been a lot of either short developing routes or a lot of inside run plays. So it's really been a game made in the trenches tonight. So to me, the winner of this game will be whoever has the stronger offensive or defensive lines, respectively.
That's right. I think it's really about laying down a good block for your runner or shedding that block if you're on defense.
As we will see Storer go back to the gun, 3 to his left, takes the snap, looking for Anton the whole way. Just a little bit too far out of bounds. One-on-one coverage there with number 44, Haji Bell, the senior.
Looking at a 3rd and 10 for the Sal's offense. They're going to need a pretty good play here to get a fresh set of downs, or else we're going to have to rely on Aiden Montgomery once again to pin them deep in their own field.
Fortunately for Salesianum, they've had good field position all night, so they've been able to pin Appoquinimink deep. But you'd really like to see Salesianum convert here, as they will bring out the 3 wide receiver set with Ransom behind Store.
So far we've seen 2 pass plays, and it looks like we're going for a 3rd. Store under pressure, jumps it deep. Oh, and almost picked off, but it's dropped by number 3 on Appoquinimink, Gavin Tucker.
Yeah, great coverage there by Tucker. You know, Lucas Ryan had great awareness. He was running a little bit of a drag across the field to where Storer was scrambling, but he went upfield and Storer just left him a little bit short.
Yeah, Storer was under pressure and he didn't really get the best pass off, not what he was looking for. Lucas Ryan was a little bit open, but fortunately it wasn't a pick, and we're gonna have to rely on Aiden Montgomery once again for a big punt.
One in which he gives.
Big punt it is. Fair catch called on the 5-yard line.
Interesting call there, Nick. I mean, there looked like there might have been a decent amount of spin there to potentially have the ball go out of the back of the end zone, but the Appoquinimink player takes it on the 5.
Pinned really deep into their own field. You gotta think, Sal's could have a big play here if they keep him here.
Yeah, they've had a pretty strong run defense all night. And hopefully that remains constant on this drive, as both teams seem to be stacking the box a lot more as fewer and fewer pass plays are called. But we will see this Appo offense come right back out onto the field.
I have a feeling we're going to see a lot of McConomy on this drive. He's been doing very well for Appoquinimink tonight, and I expect he'll keep doing well for them as they're pinned down all the way on their 5-yard line.
As Nielsen takes the snap, turns around and hands it off to him. Big burst of speed there to about the 11-yard line for Appo. Gain of about 5 there, bringing up a 2nd and 5.
Once again, McConomy, he's been seeing a lot of touches tonight.
And Nick, he's had pretty good production in all of them, so it's understandable why Appo keeps going back to him.
That's right, he always seems to hit a gap, get a couple extra yards. He's always good for at least 5 yards.
As Nielsen will take the snap once again, hand it off to him.
Off the outside, he gets a pretty good block, he keeps going. Definitely for a 1st down, he's taken down around the 35-yard line. It's a big run.
There was Javion Burrell, the freshman. As that will bring up a 1st down to the Appo 26-yard line.
Appo did get a good job. They had very bad field positioning at the start of this drive, but it's looking a little better on their own 25. Once again, they're sticking with that run offense. It's been working well for them. Sally's has been struggling a little bit to get a stop. You got to think they're going to keep going there.
As Nielsen will take the snap. And again, hand it off to McConomy.
Around the right side, it looks like he's got some space, and he's taken down, seems like, for another 1st down.
Yeah, Appo has had a lot of success here on this outside run game. When they've gone up the middle, they have been stopped pretty quickly, but getting to the outside, wide receivers are tossing some really good blocks right now, and corners aren't being able to shed, and linebackers having to traverse across the field. They've had a lot of success. So I think the linebackers here for Salesianum really need to highlight that in their game plan. As Nielsen will take the snap and hand it off once again.
This time, Sally's comes up with a good play. Looks like almost a tackle for a loss, maybe a tackle for 0.
Yeah, a horde of Salesianum defenders there.
Economy stuff for now. Maybe we'll see him next play. Maybe Apple will elect to throw a pass.
Yeah, it seems like when Apple is running it to the wide side of the field, they're having some pretty good production. However, that play, they ran it to the short side and were really stopped quickly, as they will go back into the gun. Two running backs in the backfield with Nielsen. As he will take the snap, hand it off once again. And McConomy gets smacked by Nate Ray, flying off the edge there.
And that's a big play for Sally's defense as we're coming up on a 3rd and 10. Appo's gonna look, they're gonna look for a new set of downs, but they've been stuffed 2 plays in a row.
But now they will take a timeout. So the first timeout of the half comes from Appo at the 9-minute mark of this second quarter. Nick, you know, I said it earlier, but this Salesian defense has been doing a good job of bending but not breaking. You know, they allowed about 40 or 30 yards of field position on this drive, but they've really stood up here and only allowed McConomy to 0 yards on these past 2 plays. So it's really put Apple in a difficult situation, as we saw earlier, where their passing game hasn't been super efficient. So Nick, do you think they go to the run game again here and try to catch this Sally's defense off guard, or do you think they throw the ball?
I feel like they got to stick with their guns. I mean, the outside run has been working for them. They've got some big plays, and they've certainly got some 10-yard runs. So I have a feeling they're probably going to go back to McConomy.
Yeah, potentially to the wide side of the field, as that's when they've been having their success.
Steadily driving up the field, but you got to think back to when they're all the way back at their 5-yard line, such unfavorable field position. They're still stuck in their own half.
As Nielsen will take the snap on the 32-yard line. Looking for a quick out.
Oh, man. Almost picked off.
There goes Noah Hoff down the sideline for the touchdown.
That's an interesting play to watch. Almost picked off by number 3 on Salesianum. The
Nick
ball
Strzelecki
fumbled, and it somehow ends up in the Appoquinimink receiver's hands, and he's able to run down the outside for a touchdown.
Yeah, 63-yard bomb there. I mean, it looked like it was very well covered by Javian Burrell and Nick Strzelecki, but it somehow slipped through, as we can see here.
Bobbled, yep, and caught, and once he's got that ball, he's down the sideline. Nobody's catching him.
Yeah, really showed a great burst of speed there, but could have been a big play there for Salesianum, getting great field position, but unfortunately it was a big play for Appo.
As you said earlier, it seems like Sally's does sometimes struggle with these big-time plays. Many of the touchdowns they give up are big, big plays like that 60-yarder right there. They've done a pretty good job limiting them, even with the pretty productive run game from McConomy, but Appo first to strike in this game.
As they will call out a timeout to compose themselves before this extra point. But yeah, Nick, that was a massive play by the Appoquinimink wide receiver, having the awareness to realize where the ball is, take a hold of it, and absolutely explode down the sideline en route to a 62-yard completion and touchdown. But yeah, Nick, I mentioned it earlier. This Salesianum defense is very good in the short game. However, it seems like a lot of big plays have just really hurt them and led to other teams scoring. So if they can try to limit those, I mean, that was kind of a freak play. A couple ricochets into the hands of the wide receiver, Noah Hoff.
I mean, even though it was a score, you got to give Nick Strzelecki some credit. He was on that ball. He had his hands on the ball. Unfortunately, does bobble it, and it does end up in an Appo wide receiver. But it was good coverage as Appo pushes the ball through for a 2-point conversion.
And McConomy showing his versatility on both offense as their running back and then on special teams there, running the ball into the end zone for the 2-point conversion.
Coming up with just under 9 minutes left in the half. Sally's down 8-0. What are we looking for here for Sally's to bounce back?
You know, their run game has been pretty efficient. However, I kind of want them to, you know, throw a little bit of a slip screen potentially to Ransom. I mean, they throw a lot of wide receiver screens, for example, to Lucas Ryan. But I know the Appo defense will not be expecting the slip screen to Andrew Ransom. So if they can try to work him into the passing game, I think that would be very beneficial for their offense as a whole. As we will see Appo's kicker booted away, down to Nick Strzelski, the electric special teams returner.
He's running up the field. He's past 2, he's past 3, he's past 4, shedding tackles. He keeps going all the way to the 50-yard line. What a return by Nick Strzelski. It seems like he was gonna get taken down, but no. He evades tackles, not 1, not 2, not 3, but almost 4 times, and he gets to the 50-yard line.
However, Nick, there is a penalty marker down at this 26-yard line as we will await the call. Another block in the back by the Salesianum return team. So that will put them down. It's a penalty at the spot of the foul. So that will put them at the 16-yard line. A really unfortunate penalty there for Salesianum.
It's a shame, as you just saw, Nick Strzelski, it seems like he was going to close down, but no, he kept going all the way to 50, but unfortunately, the penalty does limit the Sal's offense down about their 15-yard line. We'll see what they can do with it. First time, it seems like they're starting in some unfavorable position.
Yeah, as it looks like there might be a little bit of confusion here with the referees. Speaking of our referee crew tonight, the referee is Bob Collins, the umpire is Antonio Thompson, the linesman Adam Barbas, the line judge Reggie Reed, back judge Eric Thompson, and the clock operator Steve Woodward. As Stower takes the snap out to Ransom, bouncing it out wide. Andrew Ransom down the sideline for about a 14-yard gain, down to the 31-yard line of Salesianum.
And that's a great run by Andrew Ransom. Almost taken down, but is able to break a tackle and squeeze out at least 3 or 4 extra yards for Sally's. And just like that, they're moving up the field with 1 play, a new set of downs.
And Nick, I was kind of referring to it earlier. I mean, as good of a power back as Ransom is, I mean, he is incredibly elusive as he displayed on that play. As we will line up for a 1st and 10 at their own 30. As Stower will swing it out wide to Lucas Ryan, make a man miss, try to cut it back upfield, but is going backwards.
Still up, moving across the field. He's got a little extra space. He goes from the right side to the left side, able to get some extra yards out of it, but unfortunately there is another flag on the play. Lucas does a great job staying on his feet, evading 4 tacklers on his back, and he's able to wrap back around and reuse his offensive line for some blocks.
As Salesianum had a blindside block there. So that will move them back another 10 to 15 yards. You know, and Nick, that's kind of a hard penalty to stay out of on those kind of plays, as Lucas Ryan was completely reversing the field. It's hard for offensive linemen to block legally on those because everybody is running towards them. And if they're trying to, you know, keep defenders away from Ryan, it's tough to do it legally. As now will be 1st and 25 on Salesianum's 15-yard line. As Stower takes a snap, looks for Ransom on the slip screen. He's got blockers out front, stumbles.
Ranger stumbles, but he's got open space. He catches a block, he's running. He's got another block all the way to the 50-yard line. What a run by
Andrew Ransom, showing off his elusiveness. And Nick, I don't want to say I called it, but that slip screen was electric.
Oh, that was beautiful. It almost seemed like Storer was about to be taken down, but he is able to get the ball over to Ransom. Ransom almost loses his footing, but he's able to stay up, catches a great 2 blocks, which allows him to get another 10 yards onto his already amazing run. Sal's all the way up to the 50-yard line now. You got to think they're in a good position here. They're going to keep pushing.
Perfectly ran slip screen as Storer back. Looks like to Nasir Logan, the sophomore, as he will go to about the Appo 44-yard line for a gain of 6.
After that big electrifying run by Andrew Ransom, it seems like the team is revitalized. Nasir Logan with a good run, picks up a couple extra yards.
As we're going to see a lot of Nasir Logan tonight, as Sean Curley is hurt. And he is back in the backfield behind Storr again. Ryan in motion. Splits out wide. Storr takes a snap. Wide receiver screen to Nate Ray. Gain of about 3.
Another flag on the play. And we'll await to see who's it on.
As Elijah Husser's helmet comes off. Potentially something relating to that for this penalty.
So now we have Sally's here at the 50-yard line. They still got half the field to go, but I feel like this has been a pretty good drive for them. And do you think you want to see him keep using Andrew Ransom, because he's been electrifying so far? You want to see him maybe throw some routes to Lucas Ryan or?
Yeah, I think really utilizing Ryan here will be a great thing, as well as Ransom, as we will bring up a 3rd and 1. And here I think Ransom has to get the ball. You know, they're coming out in jumbo, a 2 tight end set here with Ransom and Storr in the backfield. As they will hand it off.
And Ransom is through. And he's able to get the first down for Salesianum.
Down to the 37, a gain of 4. And that will move the chains. You know, Salesianum's really moving the ball well on this drive, mixing it up with the pass and the run game. Really showing how dynamic they can be. And Nick, if they continue this on other drives, I don't see a reason why they can't put up a lot of points against this Appo defense.
Down 8-0 right now. We really need a South score. They are sure driving down the field even after a couple of unfortunate penalties.
As Ballant goes in motion. Storr takes the snap, but it looks like there may have been a false start there, as there is laundry on the field. And that's what it will be. So that will move them back 5 yards to bring up a 1st and 15 at the Appo 42-yard line.
Sal's has been doing well, getting some big plays on the board, but they've really been limited by so many penalties against them.
Yeah, a couple pretty crucial ones. So it will be 1st and 15. Storr in the gun. Ransom to his left. He will roll out, looking for Ryan on the short out.
Lucas Ryan tries to cut in, fakes it, stumbling, and he's able to get a couple extra yards, able to maintain his feet. Sets Sal's up for a really good positioning here. Looking like a 2nd and maybe 2 or 3.
Yeah, it looks like it will be a 2nd and 2. A 13-yard completion there, with Ryan getting about 8 yards after the catch.
Ryan does a great job staying on his feet. He seems to be stumbling, but he is able to stay up long enough to put Sal's in good position here on 2nd down.
Yeah, Nick, it's been pretty clear that Salesianum does a lot of balance training in practice. As you know, Ransom did a great job catching his balance earlier, and then Ryan here as well. As we will see this 2nd and 2, Storr in the gun. Hands off to Ransom. Ransom up the middle for about a yard, down to the 28-yard line, and that will bring up a 3rd and 1. Nick, we had a similar situation earlier, but I think maybe a little bit of miscommunication with the line, with the chains operators, as he's saying it's 4th down, but I believe it is a 3rd and 1. So it looks like a little bit of confusion for the teams there, but it will be a 3rd and 1.
4th and 1, actually. 4th and 1.
Nick, it is a 4th and 1, I guess.
And they do elect to take it. They give it to Andrew Ransom, and it seems like Ransom is able to get the 1st down. That's a clutch play from Ransom. You know, down 8-0, Sal's really needs to get some points on the board. They elect to take it on the 4th and 1. Hand it off to Ransom, who's had a great night tonight. He's able to power forward for 2 yards. Gets that extra set of downs.
Yeah, broke a couple arm tackles there as well, as he got down to the Appo 26-yard line, where Salesianum will have a fresh set of downs. Just under 4 minutes left in this first half. The Store's in the gun. Ryan motions over.
Van Anton with the one-on-one on the left side.
Store takes a snap, looking deep for
Lucas Ryan. One-on-one. Oh, Lucas stumbling. Unfortunately, the ball comes out of his hands. That's a very difficult catch to make. And unfortunately, he doesn't.
Great coverage there by Haji Bell, the senior, as that will bring up a 2nd and 10. And Nick, Ryan's had a couple of those where it's been very hard to catch in the position that he has been in, but you know, that's what the route calls for. He has to go up and get that, and unfortunately, that's just a tough position to be in.
Yeah, it seems like he almost has it, but he just can't quite bring it in, falling over, landing on the ground. It's a very, very difficult catch to make.
On 2nd and 10, Store in the gun, hands off to Ransom up the middle, and he is swarmed by a horde of Appo Jaguars, but will pick up one down to the 25 to bring up a 3rd and 9.
Third and 9 for Sallies. You think they're going to run it or you think they're going to pass it? You know, they've been using Andrew Ransom a lot, but it seems like they do want Lucas Ryan to make a big play here.
You know, they've had really good offensive production, but on this drive, I think they would be, you know, pretty happy with 3 if it came to that. I mean, a first down conversion would be great. Store has a little bit of pressure here, gets out of it, and will just wisely throw it away out of bounds. And as they are in range for James Collins at about a 42-yard field goal, I think they will take it here, as Jimmy will enter the field. Their superstar kicker, who last week broke the state record for points in a season by a kicker.
As I said earlier, for the keys to win, they're going to need to rely on James Collins in situations like this. He's been very good this year, as Vernon just said. State record in points by kicker in one season.
So this will be a 42-yard field goal. Long snapper Frank Holodick, holder Jacob Tiberi. Takes a snap. Collins' kick is good. And that will make it Sally's 3, Appo 8, with 2:41 left in this first half.
And that's why James Collins is such an instrumental part of this team. You know, when they need a big play out of him, he can make that kick whenever needed. Sal's is back in this game now, 8-3. They're not down by as much, and they're looking for a big stop here before they go into halftime. 2 minutes, 40 seconds on the clock.
Yeah, James Collins really there showing off why he is 5 stars. As he will come on to kick off for his 2nd time tonight. But you know, Nick, Sally's does get the ball to start the 2nd half, so getting points there was really important, as they can take the lead if they do get a stop here. And you know, Appo scored off of kind of a freak play, and their offense has been very run-centered, so it will be hard to get down the field in 2 minutes and 41 seconds, even with their 2 timeouts. As Collins is back to kick, and he will boot it away.
Yeah, I think as long as Sal's defense puts in the work to limit McConomy and the run game, I feel like they have a good chance of just stuffing them until halftime. And hopefully we can go into the 2nd half, only down 5, receiving the ball, hopefully put some points on the board. But right now we need a big stop.
And James Collins kicked it out of the back of the end zone, so Appo will start on their own 20-yard line, as we will see their offense once again. Nielsen will take once again. Sally's with stuff in the box with 7 guys, and they will hand it off to McConomy. Gets about 3 or 4 there, down to the 24-yard line.
Sal's doing a good job stuffing it up the middle.
Yeah, it seems like they're really starting to commit to the run game, as their passing game, besides the free play, has not really been efficient. Smart call here by the defensive coordinator, as Nielsen will line up again. Snaps and hands it off to number 9, Jaden Glover, who will gain about 5 there, down to the 29.
Appo's in a pretty good position here with 3 and 2 for a 3rd down conversion. They're going to look to get an extra set of downs, but they only have 1:50 on the clock. Bar a big play, it looks like the best they can really hope for is a field goal.
As they will line up once again, 3rd and 1.
This would be a massive stop if Sally's can get him down before the 1st-yard line.
And it looks like McConomy will get the 1st down, getting the ball out to the Appo 31-yard line, and that will move the chains. However, there is only 1:26 left on the clock, and the clock continues to run.
Appo really relying on this run game, but with the running clock here about to hit a minute, unless they get a big run here, you got to think they might start turning to pass here to get some yardage. Hopefully trying to kick a field goal, but
as Nielsen line up in the gun, a motion, but still hand off to McConomy again, as he will get tackled at the 35-yard line. And Nick, I think, you know, this Appo offense might just be okay. Oh, I was about to say they might just be okay with, you know, running the clock out, as their defense has been super dominant so far over this Sally's offense. But they did just call a timeout there, as that is their 2nd of the half. So there will be 50 seconds left with 1 timeout. A 2nd and 6.
Got to think they're cooking up something special, because they really do need to get down the field. They need to hurry up. There's only 50 seconds left on the clock.
And based off the kickoff, I mean, their kicker has pretty good power. I don't know about his accuracy, but I'm wondering what his range is as a kicker. If I had to guess, it's probably somewhere around 35 to 40 yards, which is pretty good for a high school kicker. As we will see Appo take the field once again. I think they're going to have to start passing the ball soon, though. And as we've seen, their short passing game has been good, but haven't really any long passes.
And a big run. Seemed a little bit of misdirection. Fake handoff, and
then Ethan Ozigbu taking off down the sideline, gaining a couple and moving the chains. And he did go out of bounds, so it will stop the clock.
44 seconds. In a better position, but still haven't made themselves past the 50-yard line. And I'd say 35 to 40 yards is a pretty good estimate, so they're going to need to get at least another 20, 30 yards before they can reasonably take a field goal.
Take the snap. Looks like a little bit of confusion. And Nielsen will take off for about 1 or 2. Looks like the coach is telling him to hurry up.
The clock running, less than 30 seconds left.
Looks like they're trying to save that timeout if they can potentially get into field goal range on this 2nd and 9. Nielsen takes a snap. Halfback delay to McConomy.
McConomy in the open field. He breaks a tackle. He's running.
And he's going for the touchdown here.
And he's taken down. That's a big play by Appoquinimink. They're able to get some good field position.
Looks like they will take the timeout and potentially kick it here. It will be a 42-yarder.
That's a really important play for Appo there. They're not in a good position, but you know, they've been relying on the run game the whole time, and it sure helped them here. Big, big play.
Yeah, so Apple will take their last timeout of this half. Really smart move there by Appoquinimink. You know, trying to go for the touchdown because, you know, it does use your last timeout, but you do get that possibility of you breaking it off and, you know, putting another 7 or 8 points up on the board. As it looks like they will try the field goal here. It looks like there will be a timeout by Salesianum, potentially trying to ice this Appo kicker, Henry Herman.
Yeah, it seems like he has some pretty decent power based on his kickoffs. We've yet to see him kick a field goal this game. Looks like to be a 30-yarder, 35.
Actually, I believe it's a 42.
Oh, 42, wow.
Or no, maybe just a 40. Looks like they only lined up the tee 5 yards off the long snapper. So it will be a 40-yarder. But this is a really big play. I mean, with as little scoring that has gone on in this game, it could be like a big difference maker for the second half. As Henry Herman will try to get this through the uprights. 40-yard field goal. But this has been a really big spot for Salesianum special teams. They've gotten a lot of blocks this year on field goals and punts, especially highlighting Nate Ray, who's lined up over the long snapper.
Oh,
and it was blocked. There goes Trevor Way.
Oh.
But he will recover it. There will be 1 second left on the clock. But a really great play there by the Salesianum special teams.
Yeah, that could end up being a very big turning point in this game. If Appo puts that kick in, Sal's goes back down 8 points.
As you can see here on the replay, it looked like Herman may have got just a bad angle on it and sent it into somebody's back. Yeah, it got kicked right into his offensive lineman, and as I was kind of alluding to earlier, it had a really short snap length, giving up 2 yards to potentially move Herman a little bit closer, so that was probably the difference maker of the arc that he was creating.
Sal's gets one chance. Big play.
Appo in their prevent defense, rushing 4. Storr looking.
Under pressure.
And it looks like he
And
will
sacked.
just take the sack. And we will go into the second half. But Sally's grabbed a lot of momentum there, really stopping the field goal. As the score is Sally's 3, Appo 8 at the half. Nick, who has been the biggest playmaker either for Appo or for Salesianum that you have seen tonight?
Well, I mean, I got to keep highlighting the run game. Economy on the Appo side, Ransom on the Sally side. Both players are playing their hearts out here in the last game of the regular season. We've seen a lot of run on both sides. There was a passing touchdown after a little bit of a bobble off of Nick Strzowski's hands. But, you know, I really got to highlight Economy and Ransom here. They seem to be the MVPs for both sides.
Yeah, I mean, both offensive lines and defensive lines has done a good job respectively. But it really comes down to the ability for offenses to get their running backs into the open field. I mean, we've seen it with both sides, with Economy getting into the open field, really taking off down the sideline, as well as Ransom. I mean, when he got that slip screen and that pitch out wide, he really took off and got big gains for this Salesianum offense. So if their offenses can continue to get their running backs in the open field, I think whoever does a better job of that, Nick, I think they will win this game.
Yeah, I got to agree with you there. When Economy hit the open field on that play before they set up the field goal, he got a lot of yardage for Appo, and he had a lot of space to run. Both running backs seem to be pretty good at breaking tackles, so if they can break that first tackle, if they can hit that open field, you got to think that they're going to be picking up big yardage for their team.
And we will see you back in about 20 minutes for the second half of this game. I remind you to subscribe so you don't miss any of the future playoff games. And we will see you later.
Veterans that are present at the game to please stand and be recognized for their service to our nation. Please join me in celebrating the bravery and dedication to our country with a round of applause. Thank you once again for all your service and dedication
And welcome back to Abyssinia Stadium, as soon we will start the second half of Salesianum versus Appo, as Sally's has 3 and Appo has 8. Nick, what were your main takeaways from that first half of football?
Well, you know, we've seen a lot of the run game on both ends and not much pass game. We did see that one pass touchdown, but that seems to be pretty much the highlight of the passing game on both sides. Appoquinimink, Ransom, they're dueling right now in the run game.
Yeah, very strong showings from both the offensive and defensive line for both Salesianum and Appoquinimink. It kind of seems like Appoquinimink has had a little bit of the upper hand in the run game, but it looks like Sally's has had a little bit of continuous improvement towards the end of that first half. So if they can carry that momentum from that blocked field goal, as well as the momentum that they had with those run plays, I think it could be dangerous for this Appo defense, and with this explosive Salesianum run game.
Yeah, we've seen them do pretty well on offense, especially that last drive where they capped it off with a kick. I think one thing is we got to stop putting these penalties. Like, they've really been limiting the yardage we're getting on our plays. We had that really big run from Nick Strzelski that got pulled back because of the penalty. You know, we're doing well moving the ball up. We just got to be careful of the penalties, and I think we'll be in a good position to put some points up and hopefully take the lead here.
As we will start this second half with Henry Herman kicking it away for the Jaguars. And the ball is away to Nick Strzelski once again. And there he goes, bouncing it outside.
He's got space.
There goes Strzelski.
He's running.
Only the kicker to beat. He breaks the tackle. And finally downed by number 3, Gavin Tucker, but not before entering Appo territory to their 44-yard line. Nick Strzelski, what a playmaker.
Oh yeah, and that's his second big kick return of the night. Once he gets full head of steam, once he gets running, it's hard to take him down.
And it's great to see that there were no penalties on that kick return.
Oh yeah, starting with some very favorable field position for Sally's. Let's see some points put up, hopefully take the lead, start off the second half strong.
Yeah, Nick, they should be looking here to incorporate, you know, all of their receiving core. I mean, Ballant, Gaiman, and Anton have all had quiet nights, with Lucas Ryan taking a lot of the workload. So, I mean, Anton's lined up in press coverage against the DB. Maybe looking for him here. And they are.
Oh,
and he fell down.
DB falls.
There's
Ben
Anton. Down the sideline. Cuts back. Touchdown!
Sally's!
Ben Anton beating his man off the line. Unfortunately for Appo, their defensive back slipped and fell. Hauls in the catch and takes off down the sideline.
And what a good call, Ronan. I mean, you pretty much called that play. You were talking about how they need to keep using their wide receivers. Ben Anton makes a big play, grabs the ball, cuts back, gets the touchdown for Sal's.
Yeah,
now we're up.
And a great read and throw by Ryan Storr, as James Collins on to attempt the extra point to make it a 10-8 game.
And it's good.
And Old Reliable is good again. Talk about taking some momentum, Nick. I mean, that was 20 seconds, and already Sally's has scored more touchdowns in this second half than they did in the first.
And I mean, when you come out with that big run from Nick Strzelski, you get set up in such a good field position, and then you get blessed with that amazing toss to Ben Anton. He's on his way to the end zone. He sees that he can't make it before he's going to get tackled, so he cuts back wisely, and he's able to get in the end zone for Sal's.
As we will see James Collins kick it off once again. And Nick, although I don't understand it, Collins has been going to the far side of the field on the 40 to take his kickoffs tonight, potentially to keep it away from their return man on the left side. It looks to be like it's Daniel McConomy. Understandable why you want to keep the ball out of his hands, especially with so much room where he could get a full head of steam, and the kick is away. And it looks like it will be out of the back of the end zone once again.
James Collins, you can always expect a big boot out of him.
Yeah, it will be interesting to see how this Appo offense performs. You know, Sally's has all of the momentum right now. really carrying it through the first half into this second half. Be interesting to see if, you know, they still try to establish their run game here.
Yeah, looking back at the first half, Appo really was using McConomy in the back line, really relying on their run game, but their one touchdown was a passing touchdown. So maybe they'll switch it up this half, maybe focus a little bit more on the pass game now that Sal's thinks they're going to keep using McConomy.
I still think they're going to go back to him. I mean, that pass play was a little bit of a fluke, so I don't think they can rely on that, as they will pitch it out wide to McConomy. He will get a couple of blocks, but then is swarmed by the Salesianum defenders. Gain of about 5 on that play, down to the Appo 25-yard line.
Once again, we see the same pattern. Appo, really unfavorable field position. We say it time and again, they're always stuck deep into their own field, and they really have to force their way all the way to the other side of the field for a touchdown.
Yeah, they had a little bit of a rough first drive, but they've really seemed to settle in after it, as they will run outside. Noah Mix out there pushing him out, but Jake Ziegler will eventually make the tackle of McConomy at about the 27-yard line. So that will bring up a 3rd and 3. Nick, do they go back to McConomy again?
I mean, at this point, you got to think they will. They got 3 yards to go. McConomy's great at breaking tackles. He's got the speed to get around the outside. I just think that McConomy's the best option for them right now.
Sally stacking the box here. Nielsen takes the snap, but there will be a flag that will shut down the play. A false start on the offense. That will move them back for a 3rd and 9. So maybe that kills the momentum of this Appoquinimink drive. They've been pretty successful, you know, 2 running plays for about 6 yards, but now moved back to a 3rd and 9.
We did say they were going to go for a pass last down. We'll see what happens now.
Nielsen takes the snap. Another halfback delay to McConomy, and it looks like he will be short. Great tackle there by, it looks like, Ahmad Foster, getting back off the line and tracking McConomy down. So it looks like they are bringing out the punt unit, it appears.
I mean, yeah, you don't want to go for a 4th and 1 when you're so deep in your own field.
Although maybe not. It looks like they're lining up with McConomy as their quarterback. A little bit of a wildcat. Oh,
and
he fumbled the snap. L.J. Smith is on it for the Sals.
And you got to think, if they just punted the ball, Sals wouldn't be so close to their end zone now. Sals has all the momentum in the world. After only 2 plays on the first drive, they score a touchdown. Here they are. They get a big, big fumble recovery with only 20 yards to go.
Nick, after a pretty dull first half, this has been an exciting start to the second half with only 2 minutes and 30 seconds into it.
Yeah, I don't know. I was talking to them in that locker room, but man, they are pumped up right now.
As they will take the field once again. Stower leading a very confident offense right now. Ransom behind him. 3 wide receivers set to the right. Ben Anton to the left. Stower takes a snap. Looks like he's looking for Anton again on the double move. He goes up for it.
What a
touchdown!
Catch. What a catch!
Ben Anton!
Oh, man! It seems almost a 50-50 ball, but it seems easy for Ben Anton to just grab it and come down in the end zone.
Ben Anton,
what a night he's having.
Has made amazing jump ball plays all throughout this season. He really sealed the deal last week versus Dover. And now he has 2 touchdown catches in this game, really in the past 3 minutes.
Looking back, he's in press coverage again. There's good coverage. It doesn't seem like he's going to get this ball, but man, he just goes right above the defender and he pulls that in for a touchdown.
Perfect pass.
Play.
by Stower, really putting it in a perfect position for only Anton to get the ball, as Collins will attempt another PAT. And once again, it's good.
James Collins right after is successful.
And Sal's, oh man, down 8-3 coming into the second half. All of a sudden, they're up 17-8. I mean, just, it's been a great half for Sally so far.
Yeah, purely electric.
James Collins for another kickoff. Waiting for them to get set. Once again, he takes it to the far side. Probably trying to dodge the return by Appoquinimink again.
And it looks like the Appo return man will be lined up deep, potentially to catch the ball before it goes out of the back of the end zone.
I mean, Appo really do need to return it. They can't keep getting stuck at their own 20-yard line.
And Collins will boot it away.
And what a kick it is, flying way over the receiver's heads, almost all the way past the end zone.
And so Appo will start again on their own 20-yard line. And Nick, this is a 2-possession game, as it is a 9-point game. So that's a really big, positive for the Salesianum team, as Appo did get 8 points on only one of their drives. But after that, Salesianum's defense has completely shut down their offense, almost never letting them past midfield. So if they can continue this strong defensive showing, it may be over for the Jags.
That's right, and we're thinking back to the first half, that blocked field goal. Maybe they should have just set it up a little back farther so he didn't kick it in the back of the man. But now, Appo's stuck, 17-8.
Nielsen takes a snap, drops back to pass, but will just dish it down to McConney, as he will only take it, looks like, back to the line of scrimmage. But yeah, Nick, that blocked field goal really seems to be the turning point in this game. Everything has been going Sally's way after that, so you can almost, be confident that that was the point where momentum was gained.
That's right, this Sal's defense is hot. The run game hasn't been working too well, as we've seen in this second half. Props to McConney, he's taking all these touches and he keeps powering through. But Sal's defense doing a great job keeping them pinned back.
On 2nd and 10, Nielsen takes a snap, hands it off to the fullback.
Big tackle.
Number 9, Jane Glover. But a big tackle there by Ahmad Foster, shedding his block and getting the tackle for loss, bringing up a 3rd and 11. Looks like a referee timeout, as Jane Glover's a little bit shaken up and will go down.
Once again, Appo finds himself 3rd and 11, 3rd and 10. Do you think they keep going back to McConney play after play? And I don't know if it's working right now. Do you think they try and make a pass here to get some yardage?
Well, Nick, we saw they were in a similar situation on their first drive of the game, where it was a 3rd and 11, and they did loft the ball up down the left sideline. Unfortunately for them, it was a little bit overthrown, but I think they go back to that play because the wide receiver did have separation there.
Both teams get back set. 3rd and 10. Appo really need to convert here, or else they're in a really bad position. Down 2 scores, 2 possessions. They need to get something happening.
And it looks like the passing game might be open for Appo, as Sally's is really filling the box with a lot of people. Looks like they're running a little bit of an option. Short crosser in the middle, but he will be short of the first down marker, gaining about 9 on that play, getting to Appo's 29-yard line. But it looks like they will bring out the punting unit. And I think that may be potentially due to the fact of the last drive where they did botch that snap kind of playing it a little bit safer this time and trying to, give Salesianum a little bit worse field position than they had last drive. As Reinhardt takes a snap and boots it away to Lucy, who calls for a fair catch at the 42-yard line of Salesianum.
Sounds a little over 50 yards to go. Decent field position, pretty neutral field position, but I mean, they've been on fire ever since they came out from the locker room after that halftime. So, I mean, we're looking for another score here.
Yeah, Nick, their passing offense has been very explosive this game. Do you think they'll continue that? Or do you think, they'll try to milk the clock a little bit, see if they can get that run game respected by this Appoquinimink team, so maybe set up the play action later down the line?
I mean, Ben Anton with his back-to-back touchdowns. You got to think Appo's thinking about that deep threat now, and they're probably going to go short, yep.
There's Storr to Gaiman, the elusive freshman. Was back about 3 yards behind the line of scrimmage. Puts a couple moves on this Appo defense and gets to about the 44 for a gain of 2. Yeah, it looks like they're trying to get Storr in a rhythm. He's had a couple great passes to Ben Anton specifically. But if they can get this short game working, it's very similar to the run game where if you can get the defense to start pressing up, the long ball will really open up quickly. As Storr has another 3 wide receivers set to his left. Lucas Ryan in motion, jet touch pass. Ryan cuts up the middle and then brought down by a couple Appo defensive linemen. Gain of about 5 on that play. And that will go down as a completion for Ryan Storr.
Seems like Sal is trying to work their short range game after 2 big bombs to Ben Anton. They're set up here for a 3 and 4. I feel like they might go back to that short run game just to get that extra set of downs.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised to see a little bit of Lucas Ryan motion out of the trip set. Maybe even out the wide receivers. I mean, Ben Anton again, one-on-one coverage. Can't help but to look at him. But they'll run a little bit of misdirection out to Ransom.
Oh, but a big play.
Big play there by the defensive end, but a flag does come in at the end. Potentially a penalty on the tackle. And it looks like it might be as Nasir Logan is entering the field for Salesianum, expecting that the offense stays out.
Penalty against Appo here might mean a first down for Sal's.
Personal foul, face mask on this Appoquinimink defense, which will give the Salesianum Sal's an automatic first down. And 15 yards from the spot of the foul, bringing that Appo 41-yard line. Not a traditional way to get a first down, but whatever works, I guess.
Hey, we'll take it. Chains are moving.
That was great play design there, Having Ryan, who they went to previously on that jet pass, go one way, have Ransom go out to the other side on the pitch. Really made the Appoquinimink defense think and maybe led to that face mask. As Storr takes a snap. Screenplay for Nasir Logan, but unfortunately he dropped it. And it may have been, better for him as there was a herd of Appoquinimink defenders surrounding him. This will take the field once again. 2nd and 10 on Appo's 41-yard line. As this time, Jazir Gaiman will be the lone wide receiver on the near side of the field, with Nasir Logan in the backfield in a stacked Appoquinimink box. But the ball will go to Logan, showing his great speed there, picking up about 6 yards, making it a 3rd and 4.
Really uses his speed to advantage there. Pick up some good yardage right when he gets the ball, moving really fast.
Yeah, Nasir Logan, the two-sport athlete, a very shifty guard when it comes to basketball, and a great running back when it comes to football. But he will be subbed out for the junior Jonathan Ransom. Or excuse me, the junior Andrew Ransom.
See Ben Anton on the left side again. Seems to be his favorite spot.
But it looks like it may be a false start as the play is blown dead.
Ball starting at Salesianum.
Sally's doing a great job this half, moving the ball little by little as they move their way up the field towards Appoquinimink. Goal zone. Looking to put up more points on the board, further their lead, maybe bring it to a 3-possession game. As we're down to 4 minutes, 30 seconds in the third quarter.
As it will be a 3rd and 9 now for the Salesianum offense. Store in the gun. Ransom to his right. Takes a snap, is rolling out, maybe looking for Anton here. Lofts the ball. And the ref will say he was out of bounds. Great coverage there by number 44, Haji Bell. Great awareness, realizing how close he was to the sideline and pushing Anton out before he could get his feet in. And that will bring out the punting unit for Salesianum as Montgomery takes the field.
So far, Montgomery's been doing great, lofting his punts far into the Appoquinimink side of the field. He's pinned them once before. Let's see if he can do it again.
7, Jalen Brown under the coverage for Apple.
So we'll see if Anton and Strzowski can get down there and down the ball. As it's a high punt for Montgomery. Called fair catch. Lets it bounce.
Great punt. Fantastic Sally's bounce.
And once again covered up by John Casale. Yeah, Nick, I mean, I mentioned earlier earlier in the first half that when the Appo return man got it about the 5, I said to you, maybe he should have let it bounce, but I guess that happens when you let it bounce. I mean, Montgomery is such an elite punter that he knows exactly what kind of spin to put on the ball to make sure it doesn't go out of the back of the end zone.
I mean, so Sally's is a fantastic special teams division. Frank Hoddick, long snapper. James Collins, 5-star kicker. Aiden Montgomery, who's having a heck of a game right now. And once again, Appo stuck within 5 yards of their own end zone. It's looking very dire for Appoquinimink right now. Down 2 possessions. They really need to get something going.
And again, Sally's just stacking the box. As Nate Ray, what a jump off of the line.
Oh my, what a big hit by Nate Ray. He's dropped right almost at the 1-yard line, almost for his safety. That's a great play.
Daniel McConomy almost had no chance to do anything with that ball. As the ball went into his hands, Nate Ray was on him immediately. As you can see here, Nate Ray gets an elite jump off of the line. Amazing play.
That's a great play. I mean, you can look back at that Dover game a week ago, and Sally's got a safety in that game, or against Dover. So, I mean, we could be looking at the safety here with Appoquinimink on their own 1-yard line. It'd be really, really risky to run the ball here.
And that safety was a difference in the game, so this could be big.
Oh! Almost picked off.
As there was the sophomore, Noah Mix. But there was a flag on the play on the far side of the field, so we'll have to see what that is. But I know Mix wants that ball back.
Oh, man, looking back at it, he's in prime position to just snag that ball and get in the end zone for a touchdown.
And it may have been because of the defensive lineman. I believe it was Ahmad Foster, got a finger on it to just put a little bit of a weird spin on that ball to really make that catch difficult for Mix.
You know, sometimes in the heat of the moment, you're thinking more about the touchdown and you lose sight of the ball. And, you know, Appo's still pinned at their 1-yard line, so in the end, we're still in a good position here, but man, that would have been such a special play.
2nd and 13, Nielsen takes a snap. Looking for a short developing route, doesn't see anything, batted up in the air by Nate Ray. But unfortunately, it looked like the Salesianum defense was playing defense against each other. but still a great job to force the incompletion by this defense. And that will bring up a 3rd and 13. Excuse me, that's a 4th and 14. And this is a really unfortunate spot for the Appo punter. I mean, with the amazing punt rush that Salesianum has, if this doesn't get blocked, that is a good, that's a win for the punter. Because being backed up as far as they are, I mean, we kind of saw it with the field goal earlier. When you don't have ample room, it's hard to do anything, as he does get it off, and a good one at that. Aiden Lucy will smartly not do anything with that punt, as Salesianum's offense will take it at the Appo 40-yard line.
Appo pinned all the way on their 1-yard line. It almost seems like they barely squeaked out of that possession without getting scored on. Almost a safety, almost a pick 6 at one point. They're able to punt the ball out to the 40-yard line at least, back up the Sally's offense just a little bit, but still, Sally's in a very good position here.
Yeah, Nick, Ryan Storr has done a really great job of managing this game perfectly. I mean, he's made a couple great passes and great decisions to throw the ball away to really put this Salesianum offense in a good position. As he takes the snap, he was looking for Anton down the sideline. Instead, will smartly throw it away as he was getting chased by that Appo defensive line.
Pass incomplete.
So it looks like an extra offensive lineman, Sterling Thompson, may be coming in. Oh no, it looks like he may have just subbed in for somebody else. Maybe someone's a little bit shaken up on the sideline there. Storr in the gun, hands it off to Ransom. There goes Ransom.
Oh, it seems he lost his footing a little bit. I don't know if someone got a leg or an arm on his leg or something, but man, he had open field. If he's running hot, and if he doesn't stumble there, you got to think that's a big, big play for him. But unfortunately, he does get taken down. Gets a 4-yard run. In the second half, we haven't really seen much of Andrew Ransom. It's kind of been the Ben Anton show.
Yeah, and he's done a really good job at that. But, Andrew Ransom's been very patient with his touches. He's been doing a great job with the touches he's gotten. So, I mean, I keep alluding to that. And it looks like Storr knew there was a little bit of a false start there as he hesitated a little bit. But as we were saying, Ransom has been very efficient. I keep going back to the slip screen. I mean, he really showed all that he was on that play, breaking a couple of tackles, then showing how elusive he was down that sideline. And this is only his junior year, so Andrew Ransom next year will be a different kind of beast.
Only a junior. We're looking at Storr here. He's a freshman. I mean, he's got some big, big years ahead of him on the Sally's team. So
yeah, the future is definitely bright as Storr rolls out. Looking for anyone, finds Ryan, working back to the middle of the field. Lucas Ryan, back up the sideline, breaks the tackle, and then is tackled by a couple of Appo defenders down to the Appo 15-yard line.
And that composure by Storr is immaculate. He has a man in his face about to take him down. He's able to pick out Lucas Ryan, who's wide open. Lucas Ryan able to get big, big pickup. Sally's really close to the touchdown now. Seems almost inevitable.
Yeah, they've done a really great job on this drive, really mixing up the run and the pass, converting on big third downs here. This drive is indeed looking bright for this offense as we near 40 seconds left in this third quarter. Ball to Ransom. Oh, and just tripped up a little bit there, but there will be another penalty flag. But Ransom had a little bit of an opening there if he could have kept his balance and bounced it out wide. But we'll have to see what the penalty flag was for. And it was holding on the Salesianum offensive line. So we will see them move back to the 25-yard line for a 1st and 20. Hopefully they don't allow that to kill the momentum of their drive.
Starting here, 1st and 20.
Storr takes the snap. Looking for Ryan. The little drag across the field. Gains about 5 on the completion.
That's a really well-placed ball, right in the running path of Lucas Ryan, who's got 2 men on his back. He's able to stretch for maybe an extra yard there.
And that will be the end of the 3rd quarter, with Salesianum having a big 3rd quarter, going up 17 to Appo's 8. Nick, the big playmaker there, has to be the connection between Ryan Storr and Ben Anton. I mean, he did a great job going up and getting the first ball and then coming back to the second one and making a play down the sideline.
Yeah, Sally's offense is playing great, but man, we really got to highlight Nate Ray. He is having he had a beast of a 3rd quarter with that crazy play. He blew up the run to get him on their 1-yard line, and he blocks that pass on 3rd down. Nate Ray, he had a really, really good 3rd quarter here.
Yeah, Nick, this defense has really been dominant. I mean, outside of that, fluke play that we've been mentioning, they've been completely locked down. I mean, Appo's offense has been able to do very little with the possessions that they've gotten. And I mean, if they continue to do that through the 4th quarter, looks like Sally's will have very good position to close this game out. But they will have the ball here. 2nd and 15 on Appo's 20-yard line to start the 4th quarter, as we have 12 more minutes left in regulation. And Nick, I hate to sound like a broken record, but Ben Anton's up there one-on-one, no help over the top. But Ryan will motion. Storr gets the snap, rolling out left. Looking for Liam Lego!
What a play, oh man, that's great. Ben Anton on the outside, left side.
But there is a holding on the Salesianum offensive line. Although that was a great route by the senior Liam Lego, but it will be called back, unfortunately.
Very well drawn play. Ben Anton on the left side. Liam Lego comes across.
Runs a corner route with all the attention going to Lucas Ryan and Anton. But unfortunately, a little bit of a mishap on the offensive line.
And what a pass by Storr. I mean, he drops that in perfectly for Lego to catch. But as you said, unfortunately, penalty once again is tracking back Sally's.
So that will bring up a 2nd and 25. Storr takes a snap, looking to pass. Big Appoquinimink rush. Gets it to Lucas Ryan. And I mean, Nick, he was contacted at the line of scrimmage and powered through for about a gain of 7, down to the 23-yard line, setting up a little bit more of a manageable 3rd down. Still a 3rd and 18, but it's a lot better than the 3rd and 25.
I think what we're looking for here, what Sally's is looking for here, is just to get some good yards. And they always have James Collins in their back pocket. They can whip him out. He'll make that field kick wherever you put him on the field, but he'll definitely appreciate some insurance yards here.
Nick, I think you go deep here. I mean, Collins has such a great leg that I think you try to take a deep shot here. But Storr will instead go down to Ryan, who puts his head down and gets a couple insurance yards for James Collins. Down to the 16-yard line, and they will bring on the field goal unit.
Yeah, it seems like if the first half of the game was all about the run game, for Sally's second half, we got to highlight the pass game. I mean, Lucas Ryan has been getting a lot of targets. He's been making good use of them. Once he gets the ball, he's powering through the tackle to get an extra yards. Obviously, Ben Anton, 2 touchdowns, 2 big plays, all pass plays.
And it would have been a 33-yard field goal, although there was a little bit of movement in the Salesianum offensive line. So it will move them back for instead a 38-yard field goal.
Although unfortunate, definitely within range of James Collins. So we're looking to see a field goal here for the Sal's.
As Frank Holodick will snap, Jacob Tiberi will hold. There's a snap, holds good. And there's Collins once again. Field goal's good. So that will move Salesianum up to 20 to the Appo 8. Nick, it looks like Salesianum is continuing to build their lead. Although they didn't get the touchdown with Lego because of the penalty, they still got 3 on that drive, which is really important. You know, if they just continue to score, it's going to be incredibly hard for Appo to end up winning this game. So they're putting themselves in great position to close out this game.
Yeah, that's right. And Sal's defense has been on fire. With just that little sequence, they pin down the Appo offense deep into their own field. And Appo has really been struggling to make their way into a favorable position. They're definitely looking to receive this kick and maybe get a couple extra yards. But James Collins, he's got that boot on him. You know, he's probably looking to kick it out.
As it's really nice to see the 12th man for Salesianum, the student section, getting nice and rowdy right now. Very hyped that Salesianum has put up 17 points in this second half, as Collins will boot it again. And this one will go into the end zone as well. So every Collins kick has been a touchback, which may have greatly influenced this Appo offense. I mean, it seems like they really rely on the economy return to hopefully get some good yards for him, but they haven't really been given the opportunity so far today.
Yeah, I mean, for Appo, it's just been the story of bad field position. I mean, it seems like almost every drive they've had, they started deep into their own side of the field, on the 20-yard line, on the 10-yard line, even on the 5-yard line a couple times. And, you know, McConaughey is such a special player, and he really is helping them move down the field. But when you're so far down the field, it's very, very difficult to make your way down for a touchdown. So,
as Nielsen will take the snap a little bit low, taking the deep shot, going at the freshman.
And almost another play like before, with a little bit of a bob off the Sally's defender, number 17 for Appoquinimink, almost comes down with it again, Noah Hoff, but unfortunately, he's not able to pull it down.
Instead, Javion Burrell does a great job of breaking that pass up, not letting Noah Hoff get both hands on it.
It seems like Appo might be trying to transition their way maybe to a more pass-heavy game now that they keep getting stuck so far back. But as I say it,
yeah,
they hand it off once again for a couple yards.
Yeah, McConaughey has really been neutralized in this second half because Sally's is putting up a lot of points. You know, Appo's offense has transitioned into more of a passing offense, which has shown that, you know, it's kind of made them uncomfortable, which is a great thing for Salesianum's defense, as they can start to put less and less people in the box and into coverage. As Nielsen will go deep. He has him. And a great catch there by Noah Hoff with Jake Ziegler and Nick Strzerzowski right there. Perfect find by Nielsen, right in the window.
That really, really was a beautiful throw, you know. They're pinned back so far in their own side. It's 3rd and 9. They really need a big play. Noah Hoffman gives it to him. Noah Hoff. Sorry.
And this has really been, you know, a battle of the junior running backs and the freshman quarterbacks. I mean, both of these teams have bright futures, but Nielsen's really showing how well he can throw the ball, as the run play is stuffed, as both Jake Ziegler and Nate Ray met in the middle. as we will see now a 2nd and 14 for Appoquinimink. Nielsen takes a snap, looking deep.
Oh, man. What a catch.
What a great snag by number 44,
44.
Haji Bell. But it looks like he may be short.
Regardless, that's a very, very big play for Appo. You know, Sally's really, really dominated that 3rd quarter, but he lofts it up high. 44 grabs it. He is taken down right before the touchdown, but still, 1 yard line, you know, very, very difficult to make a stop here.
Yeah, and it looks like they've been targeting the freshman Javion Burrell a lot, and you know this time they succeeded, but the first couple of times he had played very good defense. But I mean, it's hard to be perfect as a defensive back forever, as they will run their Wildcat again, and they will get in the end zone.
Not bobbled this time. Touchdown, Appoquinimink.
Appoquinimink gets into the end zone. And we'll have to see here if they go for 2 again.
I mean, down 6 right now. Down 2, still not within a tie game for a field goal, so they do need a touchdown regardless of if they get a 2-point conversion or not. They still will need a touchdown to take the lead.
It looks like they will go for 2 again.
Once again in that Wildcat.
But it looks like they will be stopped short, it looks like. Yeah, the referees are signaling that he did not get in. So number 1, Ethan Azebu, cannot get into the end zone, and that may prove large for this Appo team. I mean, if they get another touchdown and go for 2 without Salesianum scoring, and they don't get it, I mean, it seems like they don't have a lot of confidence in their kicker for PATs. It could loom large for them. But we will get to see the Sally's return team once again with 2 elusive return men. I'd have to think the Appo kicker will aim away from Nick Strzowski.
Yeah, so far Strzowski, he's been a beast on these return kicks. Once he gets that ball, once he gets moving, nobody's stopping him. He's shedding tackles. He's making moves. He's brought it all the way to the 50-yard line twice today. So, yeah, you got to think that they don't want Nick Strzowski to touch this ball.
Although Vincent Della Compagni is not a bad option for the Sal's either, as it looks like he will get this ball. But it is a perfect kickoff, and he will have to take it out as it did hit his foot, as he will try to turn him back upfield. Looked like maybe a horse collar, but maybe not. He will get it out to the Salesianum 10-yard line.
Yeah, a little unlucky. He seems to have misjudged it just a little bit. The ball goes over his head, and he has to chase after it, and it does end up hitting his foot. Sally's end up on their own 10-yard line, but, you know, Sal's offense has been doing really well in the second half, so we're looking to see some good plays out of them. Here they take the field, led by Ryan Storr. First and 10, hands the ball off to Andrew Ransom. You get some pretty decent yardage out of that. Seems like they're going to use maybe a little bit of short game to get farther away from their end zone before they start those big long tosses to Anton and Lego.
Yeah, I mean, a gain of 5 on the play, and that's really good production if you're getting that from an every down basis from Andrew Ransom. But it looks like Appo may be stacking the box a little bit here, maybe opening the possibility of Salesianum throwing the ball. But they will run it again to Ransom, who will gain about 2, bringing up a 3rd down and 3.
Now this is a pretty important 3rd down for Appoquinimink. They just scored on the last drive, and if they can get this stop, they're in good position to bring this game back.
Yeah, it looks like they may have snagged a little momentum here. which is a little bit of maybe a worry for Sally's.
But never count the Sal's out. They've always got something in their back pocket.
As it will be 3rd and 3 with about 7 minutes left in this game. Andrew Ransom behind him. Hunter Ballin in motion. Storr takes a snap. Play action. Being chased. And goes down at the 2-yard line.
I mean, throughout the game, we've seen the Appo pass rush has been phenomenal. They've put a lot of pressure on Ryan Storr. He's not getting much time in the pocket to find his receivers. A lot of his throws that he's gotten have been under pressure, and as you see here, I mean, he's got 3 rushers running at him. He tries to cut back, loses his footing, but Sal's gonna have to rely on Aiden Montgomery to pull him out of this little slump here.
Definitely a smart move of Storr to just go down there, though. I mean, it's better than, you know, throwing a pick or possibly fumbling. As an Appo defensive lineman was close to blocking that ball, but instead Montgomery gets it out to about the 45-yard line. A pretty good punt considering he was punting from nearly the end line of his own end zone.
And it's interesting to look at it. It seems like almost identical scenarios for Sal's and Appoquinimink. Pinned all the way down at their 1-yard line. They have to punt. Just in the 3rd quarter, it was Appo, and in the 4th quarter, it's Sal's. And it seems like Appo is set up in some pretty decent field position for maybe the first time this game.
Yeah, it puts them in a good position to maybe run the ball a little bit here. Get back to their bread and butter, excuse me. But they will go with the 4 wide receiver set. Running back behind Nielsen. And McConomy will get the handoff. About a gain of 9 on that play.
McConomy has had a monster of a night tonight. Always being relied on constantly, and he keeps showing out for that Appo team. Once he gets that ball, if he's got a little bit of space, you know he's going to take it. And Appoquinimink with 2nd and 1 in a good spot.
Nielsen takes a snap. Heavy pass rush coming for him. And he barely gets it away before Nate Ray and Ahmad Foster close in on him.
That's a fantastic blitz by the Sal's defense. They almost get to him. Unfortunately, he's able to get the ball out of his hands before they get to him, but
yeah, good awareness there from Nielsen.
now 3rd down. Sal's has an opportunity to stop him here and maybe get the ball back.
But it looks like Nielsen just exited the field, and they may bring out their Wildcat on their 3rd and 1. Snap goes. Economy looking for some space, and he will get the 1st down. Down to about the 32 of the Salesianum side of the field.
Appo seems to really like this Wildcat formation. They can get the ball right in McConomy's hands, and he doesn't even have to worry about the handoff. He can just start running. And it seems to be working pretty well for them other than that one bumbled snap.
And it looks like they'll stay with it here. We've seen it usually in short down situations, but it continues to work on 1st down, gaining about 8 as we near 5 minutes left in the 4th quarter.
Sal's defense needs a little bit of a reset here. Momentum seems to be all in Appo's favor. We need a big stop. See the timeout called, talk it over a little bit.
Yeah, maybe adjust a little bit to this new Appoquinimink wrinkle. You know, Nick, they'd only been using it in short yardage situations, but now it seems like they've kind of, you know, adapted it to their new offense. I mean, it's been very effective in every way that they've used it, so do you think we see this as a new constant in this Appoquinimink offense for the rest of this game?
I mean, McConomy has been used frequently throughout the entire game, taking many, many of the touches, and putting him right in this Wildcat formation. I mean, there's no option for him to, well, he may throw the ball in a trick play, but getting the ball in his hands, he can start running immediately, and if he finds that space, I mean, it's not looking good for Sal's.
And Nick, this has been a pretty common thing against some Sally's teams this year, excuse me. For example, with Hodgson, they kind of went with this as well, as McConomy picks up about 1 or 2. But they went to their own Wildcat formation, trying to use their best player into some new situations. So, but it looks like there will be he did pick up the first down there. So it will be 1st and 10 at Salesianum's 23-yard line.
Now, do you think this Wildcat formation has anything to do with maybe a Nielsen injury or anything like that? Or you think they're sticking with it because it's working?
I think they're sticking with it because it's working. I didn't see Nielsen limping or anything on the sideline when he came off, and it looked like he was okay holding his helmet. But it looks like there will be a penalty flag on the run here by Daniel McConomy.
Coming up with just under 5 minutes left in the 4th quarter.
And it looks like it was on Salesianum. I didn't see exactly what the call was, but.
Yeah, unfortunately for Sal's, they've been plagued with penalties all night. Really taken on offense and defense, both sides of the field. It's really been hurting them, but hopefully they can make a stop here with so much momentum in the Appoquinimink field.
Yeah, it looked like they were about to bring out Nielsen, but then they saw it was against the Sal's and brought him right back to the sideline. So looks like Nielsen's still good to go, as McConomy will pick up a couple there, getting down to about the Sal's 7-yard line.
Steadily driving closer and closer to the Sal's end zone. 2nd and 7 with less than 10 yards to go. Sal's really needs to pick it up. This Wildcat formation is taking them down right now. They just can't seem to get a stop with so many blockers. And McConomy's speed, he's just steadily getting more and more yards.
Nick, do you think maybe McConomy will pass it on one of these if Sally's starts to stuff the run?
Well, you got to think, if they keep running the same play over and over again, eventually it's not going to work. So Sal's is getting kind of lulled into this maybe false sense of security that he's going to keep running the ball. And I feel like a trick play may be on the card soon because it's only a short-range pass. That's something that anybody could make, really. They're right on the 2nd or 3rd yard line. So, there definitely is a chance that a little trick play can come out here.
And it looks like Appo will take a timeout here. Nick, it seems like they do need to score on this possession if they want a chance at winning this game. It is 3rd and goal, so they need to get in the end zone. There will be no reset of downs unless there is a penalty.
That's right, in their huddle, maybe drawing up a play, special play to get him in the end zone here. Only down 6 points. A score will tie it. PAT will get him in the lead. So they're definitely looking to score a touchdown here with only 2 plays and no first down available.
Yeah, with 3:26 left, it would be hard to not score here and then try to get the ball back, especially being limited with their 2 timeouts now.
Sal's has a chance, though. If they can stuff him here, Appo's not going to be going for a field goal here because if there's a field goal, well, they're still behind. So Appo has to score a touchdown here, or else it seems like this game's almost over.
To me, Nick, Nate Ray really has to make a big play here. He's one of these defense's biggest playmakers, as they will leave the Wildcat out on the field. If he can make a play here, it would be massive for the Salesianum defense. As McConomy takes the snap, searching, pushing.
Falls backwards.
Down to the 2, and that will bring up a 4th and 2.
You got to think, if there's any time for a trick play, it's now. They can try and power through, but as we just saw in that last play, it's not going to work with so many men concentrated in one area.
And it looks like Appo may be taking another timeout here, guaranteeing that they will be going for it here.
They have to. This late in the game, down a score, just field goal is not going to cut it. They have to take this they need a touchdown here if they want a chance of winning.
And it looks like they will probably stick with the Wildcat. Although it would be interesting if they threw Nielsen back in there now, you know. Sally's wouldn't be expecting it. Give him a bit of a different look, potentially take one of Salesianum's timeouts from him to get into a better suited formation. Nick, I think that might be the play here.
I mean, it would definitely rattle the Sally's defense for a second. I mean, we've seen this Wildcat play nearly 10 times in a row here, and pulling Nielsen out would be something of a little change of pace for the Appo offense.
But it looks like he's walking back onto the sideline.
I mean, you got to think, this ball is 100% going in McConomy hands. He has been their star player tonight. He has been their crutch, the person they've relied on. And, I mean, he's already got a touchdown.
Biggest play of the game. 4th and 2. McConomy takes the snap, looking for a hole, pushing, and he is in the end zone for an Appo touchdown.
Almost gets stuffed. Sal's puts up a very, very valiant effort, but McConomy is just able to fall forward just that 1 yard to get into the touchdown.
Unfortunately, it looks like one of Appo's players was hurt as he got caught under the pile.
I mean, that.
As you can see here, McConomy is originally stopped, but he keeps his legs churning, pushing his offensive lineman in front of him.
Sal's number 22. Jake Ziegler has a chance to make a play there, but McConomy quickly cuts inside and he's able to get past and fall forward for that touchdown.
So that could be a big loss for that Appo team, as number 70, Elijah Husser, goes off of, or he stays on the field actually, but they're telling him he has to leave because he was injured, or at least down on the ground. And he is a big part. I mean, he's been lined up against Nate Ray all night, done a pretty good job of neutralizing Nate Ray, at least as much as you can.
I'm gonna be honest here, I think this two-point conversion isn't necessarily the best play for them. If they don't get it, it's a tie game, and even if they do get it, Sal's can still kick a field goal to win the game. I mean, I don't know if they're not confident in their kicker, but kicking a PAT does seem like the best chance they have.
One ref is signaling in, the other is not. But now the main head judge does give the two-point conversion call. But Nick, I mean, it all depends on, you know, confidence in kicker or confidence in your running back. And with your running back being the best player on your team, I feel like you got to go for two there. I mean, either way, a field goal wins it. But it looks like this Salesianum offense will have their work cut out for them. They got 257, 2 touchdowns. They definitely have a great chance. I mean, they even have time to run the ball, so they can still play the offense that they want to.
I think the key for this Sal's drive here, they got to be patient. They can't fall victim to mistakes because they're being too hasteful. They have 2 timeouts. They got 3 minutes. They have time to go down the field. They don't have to force big plays. You know, James Collins has a very, very big or very long range, and, you know, as long as you get him in a reasonable spot, I have a feeling that he can put it in.
And now Herman will kick it off. Again, going at Delacampagni. He will take it around the 4-yard line. The track and field star will take it, breaks a couple of tackles, and will get down to the Sally's 29-yard line. But unfortunately, looks like he may have gotten a little shaken up, as he will be helped off of the field.
Oh, he's hobbling.
Maybe an ankle or a knee problem.
It did look like he got slammed a little bit towards the end there. Hopefully, Doc Joe can get him patched up.
Knowing Doc Joe, an elite, you know, physical therapist, he'll get him right very soon.
I can hope.
As Storr Lines up and empty. Big Appo blitz. And just a little bit too low for number 19, Hunter Ballant. As that will bring up 2nd and 10. As this Appo away crowd is getting excited.
They're on their feet, they're cheering, they're screaming, they're yelling. Because Appo really has brought this game back. Sal's super important. Most likely last drive.
As they pitch out to Ransom. And he is stopped. Dropped for a 1-yard loss. Back to the 28. And Nick, it seems like this game has been kind of a game of runs. I mean, it went from 8-3, Appo leading, to 20-8, Sally's leading, now to 20-22 with Appo in the lead. I mean, this game has been based solely off of momentum.
I mean, I think a big part of what happened was Sally's kind of broke down against that wildcat formation. You know, McConomy got the ball in his hands, and Sally's had a very difficult time stopping him. Unfortunately.
Storr gets planted.
Ball unfortunately goes out of bounds. 4th and 10, backed up very far into their own field. Sal's in a dire situation.
And Nick, I think you go for it here because, you know, it's obvious that Appo doesn't really trust their kicker. And so if you turn the ball over here, you still have a shot at getting the ball back. You would have no timeouts and a little bit of time, but a chance is still a chance nonetheless. As they will take the field once again. Storr is in empty. 3 wide receivers to his right, 2 to his left. Appo is sending a lot of pressure here, it looks.
Ryan Storr's got time.
There's Ben Anton.
Massive play.
There he goes.
Ben Anton puts the team on his back. He has 2 touchdowns on the night. He makes a big, big play for Sally's here on a 4th and 10 conversion to keep Sally's in the game.
Most importantly, no penalties on that play. Penalties have been a little bit of a weak point for Salesianum tonight, but in the clutch, they didn't get any that time. Storr gets the ball, lofting for Anton again, but great defense by Haji Bell.
Very athletic play. He was jumping out of the air to smack the ball.
Yeah, the senior has had a massive impact on tonight's game, scoring nearly a touchdown and having great defensive reps as a DB all night.
It's been quite the battle. If you say it's McConomy versus Ransom, I'd say it's Haji versus Anton here.
Yeah, there's been a lot of little matchups within this game.
2nd and 10, Sally's almost basically at the halfway point.
Storr in the gun, Ransom behind him. Storr takes a snap, setting up another slip screen. There goes Ransom. Gain of about 5 on that play. Gets down to about the 44-yard line.
What would you say is the ideal range for James Collins here?
See, a couple weeks ago at Smyrna, he missed a 54-yard field goal. However, it went off the crossbar. That means even if it was about a 52-yarder, that field goal would have been good. James Collins has looked great all night kicking. I would say a safe range would be anywhere from about 40 to about 47-ish. If they can get him there, I would feel pretty comfortable.
Looking like this set of downs will be one of the most important of the game, if not the most important. If they can get past these 10 yards, they're in a pretty good position to pick up a couple extra yards and just hand it off to their star.
This is a 3rd and 5. Storr in the gun. The receivers to his right, 1 to his left. Ransom behind him. Storr takes a snap. He's looking. He's getting a rush out of the pocket. And he will wisely throw it out of bounds.
A flag on the play, though, after the tackle, possibly roughing the passer.
Although, I'm not sure if that ball got back to the line of scrimmage, but, I mean, I'm not going to snitch. So, looked like there was a little bit of a late hit on Storr. Let's see what the ruling is. Intentional grounding on the offense.
That's devastating for the Sally's team. Players on the sidelines, head in hands. Very, very difficult. Third and...
But now they will lose that down. So it is 4th down now. And that's a tough call. I mean, looked like Storr might have been hit a little bit late. It was definitely intentional grounding. But that's a tough play. And that brings up a 4th and forever. The Sal's will need a miracle here.
Defense is obviously looking to prevent a big-time play out of Sally's. There's no running now. A pass is all we got.
As he will lob it up. And it will be picked off by Haji Bell.
Haji Bell had such a big impact on this game. He's going to take it back for the pick 6.
And an unfortunate ending for this Salesianum football team. You know, they looked like they were in great position. And just, there is a flag, however, on the field. Not sure if it has to do with after the play or...
You know, this game has really been all about momentum. It seemed like a stalemate in the first half. They had that freak play we talked about. Appo scores. Sal's puts in a field goal coming into the 3rd quarter. Sal's has all the momentum in the world. They put up 2 touchdowns from Ben Anton. They take a big lead against Appo, but I mean, looking back, I feel like right when Appo found their mojo with that Wildcat formation, it seems like it all went downhill from there for Sal's.
And Nick, the chances are slim, but technically this game is not over. If Appo does not convert what looks like they're going for a 2-pointer, it's still a 1-possession game. As it would, Sally's would need to drive down and get the 2-pointer, as well as stop this 2-point. But a lot of Salesianum fans are already leaving.
Once again, in the Wildcat, Appoquinimink seals the deal.
And that will most likely be the end of the game.
Well, it's been a very interesting game. We saw a lot of running for the Appo team, and it just seems like Appoquinimink had the Sal's defense's number. He was ducking and diving, he was running, he was juking. And that Wildcat formation just seemed to play to his strengths. He got the ball in his hands and he just steadily moved it down the field.
Yeah, as I said, Nick, it was a game of runs. I mean, Sally's went from having 3 to having 20, and then Appo went from having 8 to having 30. So, you know, football is a game that can change incredibly quickly, and that was clearly demonstrated here tonight. As Herman will kick off once again. As he boots it deep to Aiden Lucy. Will take the ball near the end of the end zone and get out to about the 31.
South has a minute on the clock, down 10. It's possible, but it's
definitely not probable.
That's right.
And I don't want to say you just concede defeat here and kneel the ball, but
I know, you got to go out swinging here. Heading into the playoffs, you know, this is a big loss for Sal's, but we've seen some very good sparks on that offense.
Yeah, I mean, both of these teams were ranked within the top 7 in the state. So we all knew it was going to be a close game, and it definitely was. As Storr takes a snap, is rolling out, is under pressure, and will throw it away. And there will be a flag on the field. potentially for intentional grounding or roughing the passer.
You know, we've seen it throughout the game.
And it is another intentional grounding.
Pass rush, Appo. They've been putting Ryan Storr under so much pressure, and he's been forced to throw the ball out of bounds many times, and unfortunately, another intentional grounding. The ball doesn't go as far as it needs to be.
Yeah, but, you know, this game, maybe, you know, something good for the Sal's. You know, it's been a really good season, you know, being 7-2, after this game being 7-3, but maybe this will light a little bit of a fire, you know. They'll want to come back hitting harder. You know, if you're Ben Anton, mossing more people.
Oh, yeah.
But, you know, if this does end up benefiting this Sal's, specifically, you know, a little bit of the offense, as the defense played nearly perfectly tonight, besides the Wildcat. You know, if they go into the playoffs and make a deep run, me personally, I would go back to this game and see it as the inspiration behind the run. But it looks like they will have to take one more snap on 4th and 10. The Storr rolls out. They just look to chuck it to Ryan, who goes back across the field and gets tackled.
Less than 30 seconds left in the game. Sal's down 10.
All Appo needs to do here is come out on the field, take a knee, and this game's over.
Well, here we are at the end of the game, Ronan. Who would you call the key players in this match?
Looks like they're celebrating a little bit early. I don't know if they still know that they need to take another snap, as they already gave their coach a Gatorade bath. However, the offense still needs to come back out and take one more snap. Definitely a big win for Appo, though. You know, ending their season off 6-4 with a big win in an away game. I'm not sure what this will do for their playoff seedings, but it will do nothing but help them.
Under the Saturday Night Lights, we saw a fantastic game out of Appoquinimink. What a player.
Yeah, you know, he really showed off his versatility tonight. Starting in the backfield, running the ball, getting a couple passes, but then, you know, taking over the Wildcat quarterback and really being as efficient as you could see. You know, really unfortunate for the Sal's. You know, they've done a great job in the past, you know, adapting to Wildcat formations like with Hodgson during their game earlier this season. However, you know, Appoquinimink, he's such a great player that it's hard to, you know, stop him.
That's right, and it's not as if we were dominated by the Wildcat. In fact, they weren't even getting big yardage off of it. It was just a mixture of penalties and the fact that they were getting just enough yards with that Wildcat formation that they were able to recycle their downs. And I mean, tough game for the Salesianum football team.
Yeah, just a wild mix of emotions, you know. You went through, you know, the tough first half that was, you know, only gathering a field goal and giving up a touchdown. And then you go to two very quick touchdowns from Ben Anton and Ryan Storr. And then you go back to Appo putting up 22 unanswered, you know. It's a tough game, but definitely a learning experience for this Salesianum team, you know. We have a lot of young guys on this team, a couple freshmen, a couple sophomores, a lot of juniors. So they will take this into the playoffs with their senior leadership and really make the most out of it. Nick, do you have any final comments on this game?
I mean, big takeaway for Sal's fans out there. This is just the end of the regular season. We finished 7-3, and I'd say that's a great season for our football team. We still got the playoffs ahead of us. we still have ample opportunity to make a deep run, maybe even take the state championship. So, like you were talking about earlier, Ronan, I feel like this game might light a fire underneath this Sally's team. I mean, we saw that third quarter was electric for Salesianum. Their defense was on fire, making massive stops, almost getting a pick six, almost getting a safety. We saw Ben Anton, 2 massive plays, 2 touchdowns, and almost a 3rd touchdown to Lego.
Yeah, you know, this is a tough one, hard pill to swallow, but, you know, I think we'll come back better than ever, you know. As we go into our playoffs, we'll have some home field advantage, as I'm not sure the exact seeding, but we will be up there. So if you want to watch any of the playoff games on WSAL, make sure you subscribe. And for now, good night, God bless, go Sals.